There's got to be a use. There's 100 of them, it's reported, out there. We'll think of something. I appreciate your call, sir.
Yeah.
On my Area 51 line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharged.
Welcome to itheshow, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. Anything and everything. Welcome to itheshow.
So what did you guys think of that? From 1997, Art Bell. Classic.
I've heard it before. And
it's a pretty famous phone call, but I just wanted to say, if that guy didn't get an Oscar then, somebody fucking nominate him. Because even if that was a hoax, that guy's a really good actor.
Leonardo DiCaprio of radio calls.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like, it's pretty easy to do that over the phone. Like,
still,
I've heard of a lot of like 911 calls that have the same amount of energy. So,
but 911 calls are real.
Well, not always. Sometimes a kid needs help with math.
Indeed, yes.
You call 911 for help. That's what you do. Fractions are hard.
Yeah. I wanted to play that because there's implications as of late of very good deep faking technology. You guys
sure.
know.
Right.
This was obviously they didn't have that back then. They had to find a guy who could
that
act
you
really
know
good.
Of.
Right. They had to find a guy who could act really good.
Well,
but nowadays you can just be like, I could have an AI recreate that probably better.
Well, I'm trying to think of how to put this. So, did I tell you that I finally ran into like the first thing that technology actually scared me?
Which one is that?
So, okay, Google announced a new part of the Google Assistant. You be quiet, phone. I know you're listening. You shut up. Go away. I watched my phone light up when I said Google. I was like, huh? Yeah? Yes, master? What you saying? So what it does, so things you can do was like ask it to, the example they gave was like, set up a hair appointment between 11 or between 10 and noon, like on Tuesday. And then they're like, this is what's happening in the background. And then it showed what the Google Assistant was doing, which was it made a robocall to the selected salon that you had in your preferences. And it was, and the assistant was basically being an actual assistant. Like hey, do you have like any availability on noon, like around noon on Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
And then the reception was like, well, let me see. And it's like, we don't really have one at noon. We do have one at like 1:45. Do you have anything closer to 10? It's like, well, we do have one at 10. Excellent. Book me for that. And Google did all of that.
Nice.
But the thing is that what is Google empowered to do on your behalf?
Right.
That's true.
Because if one, that takes care of call centers.
Oh, yeah. No, those are gone.
They are going to be gone. It's
What's India going to do? Nobody knows, but those are gone.
They are going to, like, it will be so much more efficient because the phone tree will be able to actually ask questions back to you that you respond to in real time, and because the voice modulations are so realistic that people can no longer differentiate between robocalls and people.
There's actually other implications to that too, Randy, because as of now, a customer service agent is just, he's got a script, he's got to interpret what you want him to do and find it in his script to help you and then execute the problem. And AI can learn every single call, every problem that it has to actually fix.
Yeah.
It will learn so that next time that same problem arises, no matter how it's worded by the customer, it will know what to do. They don't have that. They don't have that centralization with call center agents because we're not a hive mind.
Yeah.
Like an AI would be.
Yeah. And it would be more efficient at that point, which is scary because how many millions of jobs is that?
Oh, God, that's what scares me. So in America, with Andrew Yang particularly recently, in the last, what was it, 4 years ago, whatever, when he was running for president. It's been 4 years now. He was talking about this then, going like, we need to implement something because we're going to lose jobs. But in reality, think about India because they have like a bajillion call centers.
Yeah, it's just going to become robo-scams.
What are they going to do? Because
scams.
They don't even have the money for that.
Scams.
Well, even the scams can be replaced by the AI and probably actually like way better.
Yeah.
Depending, I mean, it's going to be a while before they're completely believable, but like the Turing problem.
Yeah.
Turing test.
Well,
they're getting close though, man.
Yeah. I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I
feel bad for
in
all the
in the
job
vein
losses.
of so a lot of people. So there's definitely the whole like Chat GPT, like I'm going to use it to write my term paper, and they're like, well, now we have detectors for it. And
yeah,
now,
right. It'll get around those too.
No, they have, because there's another feature of Chat GPT where you have a button that says humanize, and then when you run it through the detector, it says it was most likely written by a person, because they run it through a very specific Chat GPT detector now, and it's like. And the guy did the demonstration where he's like, look, write 100 words on the plot of Romeo and Juliet. Mm-hmm. And it like rates it out. And he's like, cool, I'm going to put this through this filter and it's going to humanize it.
Yeah.
And then it humanized it. And then when he ran it through the checker, the Chat GPT checker, it's like, this is most likely written by a human. And he's like, so now if I just run the one I ran through Chat GPT and just immediately copy pasted, and then he did it again, it's like, this was most likely written by an AI.
Yeah, well, have you seen the ones where the humans wrote it and it said it was an AI? Is that what you're talking about?
It's there is some stuff like that happens.
I thought that was funny. Some guy was demonstrating it, and he wrote a completely authentic paper, ran it through the checker, and it was like, this was Chat GPT generated. And he was like, the fuck it was.
I feel like that would happen to me.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing is that it's going to become irrelevant at some point. Mm-hmm. Because people are going to realize, oh, I don't need to write fucking term papers on shit anymore. Because there's going to be no point to it, because I can ask a computer to write my term paper, which means that I can ask the computer for the information directly that I need, which is some future shit.
Well, wait till that's implanted into your brain with Neuralink.
And that's the problem.
They just got FDA approval to test on humans now, by the way.
Really?
That happened on Friday.
Really?
At least I read the article Friday. I don't know the exact date it happened.
You mean future Brondo Core?
So Neuralink is now FDA approved for human trials. This is the start of all of those movies from the fucking early 2000s, like I Am Legend, for example. I mean, that was a virus thing, but it's like it's that tone of movie where it's like
I'm thinking more like
this is the beginning where it's like, oh, we finally got FDA approval. Flash to 10 years later, and there's all the humans are dead except for Will Smith.
Yeah,
he's like, I was the only one that didn't get the fucking Neuralink.
Yeah, there's going to be people that aren't going to get it, and then they're going to do something to make it so that you have to in order to function in society.
It's just the way it is.
Like credit cards?
Like credit cards.
Yeah.
Sort of.
A lot of people were like
Pay.
that with UPCs. Apparently, do you know that, what the fuck is that place called? The really religious craft store.
What?
There's a craft store.
I didn't know there was a religious craft store.
No, they're owned by Hobby Lobby.
Is that a religious one?
Yeah, they're owned by like maybe the Mormons. I don't know. Like
That would make sense.
I don't know
That
who
would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is that have you ever been to Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
Did you notice that how long did it take you to check out?
I don't remember. I don't actually think I bought
It took
anything that
longer
day.
because they don't scan anything because there's no UPCs on anything.
Because the mark of the beast?
Because they believe that the UPCs are the mark of the beast. So everything has manual codes on it.
You know what's sad? I'm sorry. There's a lot of technologies that can be interpreted as the mark of the beast, and they've happened a long time ago. So it's like, which one is it, guys?
Well,
Make
I
up your
mean,
mind.
One of the descriptions of the mark of the beast is, having it on your forehead.
You could argue that an education is the mark of the beast.
Well,
Saying,
yeah,
I could create an argument. Right? I could make ChatGPT write an argument for me because I'm dumb. But
Yeah. I was just pointing out the whole thing where it's like, the mark of the beast would be on people's forehead,
Oh, yeah.
MAGA hats.
Oh, God.
yeah, that's a good one.
I don't have my but
There's
my rim shot.
a lot of people are going, it's like red armband, red hat. What's the difference? Like we're getting to that point, and I don't like it. I don't like that. That's where we're at.
I
now.
don't like authoritarianism in general, but we don't have to go down that road because. I'm in a good mood.
Well, we have multiple things to share today.
Yes.
I'm going to bring it to the lighter end towards the end of the podcast.
Good.
So
we always should.
I'd rather do the heavy stuff in the beginning.
That's why I played the Art Bell call. I'd like to circle back to that just for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to talk a little bit about deepfakes because we're coming into an election year and the shit's getting real. We've never had this technology before during a presidential election. And there was already like the whole fucking Russian bot farms, which weren't actually bots. They were just like a literal room with 1,000 people on Twitter.
Yeah.
But there's all that. But now there's literal deepfakes, which are beginning it with human intervention in editing later can be indistinguishable from human interaction. So that scares me. But there's also like the alien aspect of that call.
No,
because it's just fun to discuss. And I
already said they
I didn't
weren't
want to get too
aliens.
far into deepfakes. I wanted to more talk about aliens or extra-dimensional beings, as the caller said, because that shit scares me too.
So, I mean, we've been talking about AI for a lot, but I do have that one thing that I shared with you that I think
I'll bring that up as well.
Funny to react to.
Is that like a deepfake thing?
No, it's not a deepfake thing. So this came out in the game came out in 2002 or 2004 or something. So it's the so that vampire game that I'm running you guys through. This is from that game, just like the actual computer game, not the tabletop that I'm actually.
It's
running
from was it Vampire the Masquerade?
Yeah,
Bloodlines. I played a little bit of that.
This is a clip from that, and I just thought it was really funny when pre-show we were talking about. Oh yeah, we're going to be about doing AI stuff, and it's like I have a good one for this.
Well, let's check it out.
There might be a couple seconds of silence.
Yeah, it is just one of those things. So this is on YouTube. I can't get an exact time code, so we're going to have to listen to a little bit. La-di-da-di-da. We're still here, I promise.
Dead air.
And
Preparing for a business sales pitch but don't know how to sell your ideas? Try virtual meeting.
So, if we divert advertising away from expensive television spots and spread it around full-page ads in the leading men's magazines, we can...
That's an idea, but here is what I think we should do.
But I didn't finish.
Yes, that's a good point, but everyone listen to my idea.
But I think...
That's true. However, I don't think that our target market will be willing to accept such a radical approach. Listen to what I have to say on the subject. Are you ready? Good. This is a winner.
And virtual meeting doesn't just help with meetings. It can also prepare you for debating your ideas on the internet.
So, I think if the Democrats are going to have a chance at the office, they are going to have to embrace the more liberal sect of the voter bloc.
Shut up, f***ard.
I majored in political science. I think I know what I'm talking about here.
Laughing out loud. You are so gay.
Virtual meeting, the only meeting preparation device to own.
That was a good idea, which was mine originally. F***ard.
In 1984,
Was that
a generation of children were...
oh man,
That was
That's actually good.
2002, bro.
Yeah,
That's good though.
that's right up there. That's idiocracy level prophecy.
Oh man, what are we gonna do, guys?
I don't know. It's
I don't even know what to say because I am legitimately terrified about the.
So it was 2004, but yeah,
here.
like holy shit, it's on point.
I'm legitimately terrified of these technologies now, as we should be.
Which
even now, the creator of ChatGPT is urging Congress to regulate it because he now realizes what have we done because it's learning at an unprecedented rate now.
There's no way
because they put it in
Pandora's
Snapchat.
box?
Well, I don't think somebody took the API and put it into Snapchat, so that Snapchat users can use the ChatGPT interface through Snapchat. But did they once consider the actual users of Snapchat and how the AI is now learning from them? That's what scares me.
So it's obviously a sign that we are now past the curve.
We're way over the curve, dude.
No.
We crossed the Rubicon.
I'm not talking about like everybody. I'm talking about like the three of us.
Oh,
it's the idea that like after a certain age, there's technology that is like when you're young. There's always the technology that is. This is innovative and new and great, and it will make my life easier. And then there's the technology that
goddamn kids
that you have, and then there's the technology that comes out after a certain age where you're like, that is new, different, and I am afraid of it.
I see,
and that's where we're at. Because I'll bet if we ask,
you have a point.
I'll bet if we ask the Zoomers about it, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, AI, nah, no worries, man.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out."
Oh no,
yeah. The problem is that the people with their hands on the reins are people who still can't program VCRs. And
that's a good
are
point.
using whiteout on their monitors to fix documents.
Forgot about that.
Like,
I love it.
And those are the people.
These people that think candlelight is a keen invention.
Yeah, it's and
they don't even know what RGB
they have this
is, bro.
Dusty knuckle grip on power that they are unrelenting with.
Actually, that's something to be discussed because millennials and Zoomers don't even want power.
No, which is good.
They want things to change. Yes, there's all this activism.
The people
and stuff,
who don't have
the power dynamics are
the people who don't want
now.
power usually make the best rulers.
That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Is like there's about to be a lot of people inheriting power that don't want anything to do with it. We just want to be able to afford fucking rent,
right?
Let alone own a house or property. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a very weird dynamic once all the boomers start dying.
So I saw it was
rapidly.
a children's book where I think it was called Mikey the Millennial Tries to Buy a House. And like this is Mikey the Millennial. You know, he went to college and he got and it was like it actually rhymed like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
And like when he went to the bank, it's like, oh, well, you need to get 20% down. So he worked and he scraped. And he's like, well, you're just not working hard enough. And he's like, so he gave up on all of the things that he loved, like coffee and avocado toast. And like it made fun of like all the millennial things. And then he scrimped and he saved for an entire year. And he took his 20% down to the bank. And the bank said, oh, that was last year's rate. This year you need more than that. You aren't working hard enough. Get a third job.
Hey guys.
And
sometimes I think that pod that they want to put us in with the insects and you'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, I might be happy to not worry about owning anything because if that's just the paradigm.
Well, what's the point of owning something at this point?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm going with that. Is like, maybe I will. Maybe they're onto something. You know, Klaus Schwab makes me nervous, but he might be pretty smart. That's what I'm saying.
It's true.
I know you never thought I'd say that.
There's
maybe he's onto something. I don't know, guys. I mean, because I get so stressed about it because it is hard. Like every time you get a leg up to finally be like, I'm on the right track. I'm gonna own a fucking house, right? I did it. I pulled my bootstraps up. I fucking put in the work, and then there's the paradigm shift, and it's like, oh, now you have to have 80% down or whatever.
Yeah,
like you were just saying.
It's like, those were the
that was
prices.
last year's rate. Yeah,
yeah. And so
if that keeps happening, you just get more and more stressed out about it. So maybe if I don't have to even worry about owning something, but yet I have a place to live and I'm fed, doesn't that sound great?
And that's how the book ends.
Yeah, of course.
Because he realizes that no matter how hard he works, he probably will not catch up.
Yeah,
he said, "Fuck
where
it,
we're at."
I'm going to go get my latte and my avocado toast and wait for the collapse.
Yeah. And there's that meme lately that was like, what was it? Like money or God, you know what? I'm sorry. I fucked this all up it was in my head, but I can't word it.
It's fine.
But it was basically like, it's like, I don't want to be able to I don't want to it's not that I want, what is it?
It's like, I don't want to.
No, he's like, I want to be able to afford my spending habits.
Okay.
What does that mean? There's a meme. Everybody's seen it now.
Something like that.
I can't remember how it's worded. But I don't know.
So that I was actually just reminded of another meme where it's just like, someone asked me if I'm looking forward to fall, and it took me a second to realize that they were talking about autumn and not the fall of civilization.
Wind comet.
Yeah, which one of you
it.
shared it was the minimum wage to Big Mac ratio?
I think I was Scott.
Did you share that one?
I don't recall sharing something
Well,
like that,
well,
but it was
what was
probably me if I did.
Where they talked about, like, in 1980 or something, this is the minimum wage, and this was the cost of a Big Mac, so you could get 6 Big Macs for working an hour at the job. Now you can't even afford a Big Mac after working for an hour.
Yeah,
at minimum wage, because minimum wage
the
is
federal
still,
minimum wage.
Yeah,
right.
The thing is, though, is that, like, people are like, well, this 15 minimum wage is bullshit, and I'm like, well, people like to live. And you have to pay that for them to live.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sucks for you. And you need to be inconvenienced.
That brings me up something. Was it Missouri? Somebody just implemented a lower age at which you can legally work.
Oh, yeah.
Missouri?
That's happening across the fucking country.
Now, what I actually think it's a good idea because they didn't it's not like 5-year-olds are going to go work at the factories.
No, but
it was only a couple, like teenagers, like 14 or 13 or something.
No,
right?
It was 10.
Was it 10?
Yeah,
that's
it
a
was
little
10.
outrageous, but the point behind it was...
It was 10. They could work 40 hours a week.
Right. Okay.
And they could work dangerous jobs like meat processing.
Oh, that's right, because there are like controversies. Now, the propaganda was like, oh, they're going to be able to, at an earlier age, get these job skills and have money and be able to put it away, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because
but
why do your serfs need an education?
In reality, the government just wants to steal taxes from children now. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And the factory corporations who sponsored these.
It's the corporation.
They obviously want the cheaper
government
labor.
was just the tool they used.
By the way, who's looking
fucked
forward to our impending invasion of Mexico, by the way?
When's that happen?
See, Scott knows what I'm talking about, but Brady doesn't because he's been unplugged enough.
Yeah.
So the largest lithium mine ever was discovered in fucking Mexico.
Oh, God.
And it was nationalized.
Well, if we don't beat China...
No. They nationalized it, so Scott knows what that means.
Yeah.
That means that corporate interests can't get their hands on it. So what's going on at the border crisis with this fentanyl? We got to go to Mexico to stop the fentanyl crisis. No, we're going to invade to steal their fucking lithium.
So we accidentally had all our chips in the right place, huh?
Because these fucking corporations that bought the Republicans are fucking going to have us invade goddamn Mexico to stop this.
We need to invade Mexico to stop the fentanyl. It's just like,
and
we don't need another war, you fucking assholes.
Especially not one that's literally right next door to us.
My favorite thing, though, is they're like, well, Mexico has really strict gun laws. Why does the cartel have guns? Because they get them from the U.S.
Yeah, they literally
are getting them from
us.
Bro, do you know that
they're exporting drugs for guns?
There's a lot of movies about
it's fucked.
There's a lot of movies about those kind of private militant
this is going to be some fucking Blackwater shit.
There's a lot of movies about these private militant enterprises such as the cartels. They go and they purchase nukes under the table. There's no fucking reason to believe that they haven't already, and that's what scares me. And there's no rules for them. They don't fall under those rules that keep like Russia from just lobbing nukes anywhere they want, or the mutually assured destruction. They'll actually do it. That's what scares me. The cartel, you can't tell me they won't just start lobbing nukes. They don't give a fuck.
I'm not looking forward to blood batteries.
Yeah. Blood batteries. They're already blood batteries.
No, well, yeah.
They're just not right next door.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah, this is going to become a problem because here's the part of this that's really fucked up in my head is that if it's not us, it will be someone else.
I know.
It will be China,
who's already over there with like cobalt and gold.
Yeah, it will be China
don't
invading
there
Mexico.
Will be a big problem.
And but
I don't want us to invade. This is a big problem.
The thing is, though, is that Mexico's money is actually about to be worth something.
Maybe we should take a little responsibility and start paying $8,000 for a smartphone, so that we don't have to enslave people to get the lithium.
Well,
to make the smart car batteries or whatever.
We wouldn't have to, actually pay that much for a smartphone if the CEO was only making, say,
that's
50 times more than his average employee instead of 500 times more than his average employee.
Yes, that's an absolute truth. I don't think anyone on earth can actually argue against that unless you're the CEO. And you know what? Nobody wants to hear it.
I guess I'm a communist because I just threatened him buying his 5th yacht.
Yeah. You fucking commie. We ought to shoot you.
That's the whole push behind the fucking back to work movement too.
Yeah.
Back to the office.
Right.
Yeah.
Is because fucking banks and these investors own these goddamn buildings.
So here's the difference.
That when they're empty are fucking worthless.
Here's the difference. Communism is the government takes all of that money and distributes it. It's a fucking nightmare. But I don't think it's communist to just demand like, hey, dude, you don't need bajillion dollars per year as a salary. You could redistribute the wealth and literally make all of society better, including you. Because like, maybe the yachts will become cheaper and you can still afford the 5th one.
You're proposing billionaires by Beast? By Mr. Beast.
Oh,
redistribution.
Exactly, yeah. So it's not that we have to force them, but if they just were to.
Model of economies.
Yeah, if they just were to redistribute their own wealth down to the actual trickle-down economics, how it's supposed to work, the yachts would become cheaper, and then we could all have a yacht, and they could still have 5 of them. It's fucking basic math. You just have to take greed out of it. But we've talked about this before.
These fuckers eat them.
Shout out to Imagine Dragons, one of our most popular episodes by search engine optimization.
Yeah,
that was by design.
No, it really wasn't. That was a fucking joke. It was a gaffe, and it's got like it accounts for what 10% of our total downloads.
Yeah. You gotta love how search engines work.
Actually, it's like 3%. That's a gross exaggeration, but it's nearly 100 out of 3,000 episodes.
That brings me to our technicals really quick. We're sorry we're not on video this week. We're all fucking exhausted. Katie's not here. She's basically dead.
She's on her spring deathbed again. She traveled.
She's sleeping in the coffin just in case, so that because she is a people pleaser and she doesn't want us to have to move her to the coffin.
I love how
when she dies.
How far in are we?
27 minutes.
We're half an hour in, and we have yet to mention the fact that Katie isn't here.
I just figured they would know. I like to think our audience is pretty smart.
Obviously, this has been a very Y chromosome heavy episode.
I think we have a smarter audience than Timcast.
I think we do, but I would still like to just say we do miss you, Katie. Please come back when you're hearing this later.
She won't.
Oh, she will.
She has no time.
She does. She totally
Her
has.
9,000 things to do is getting bigger and bigger.
Here's the thing, though, is that she's got 2 weeks till the graduation party, and that's it.
I know. Oh man! So graduation is coming.
By the way, shout out to her daughter for absolutely crushing it at the awards ceremony.
Yeah. So we're gonna get personal here.
She got them stacks on stacks paper. I am so thrilled for her that I don't need to put money in her card. Just a nice sentiment and maybe a gift card to Starbucks.
So I know we're getting a little personal here, but shout out Isabel.
Yeah,
congratulations, seriously.
Yeah,
killed it.
You made it to this stage, which I'm glad you made it this far. Yeah. It gets harder from here.
Welcome to the real world now, though.
And okay, so that was something I fucking saw this morning. It was there's a group of there's a high school in Texas. They have I want to say it was 250 seniors.
Oh, I see this. Yeah, and 8 graduated.
5.
5 was it?
5 were qualified to graduate because of grades and absences.
Yeah, the absences were big. Yeah,
and
they're all fucking working.
No. The thing was that the teachers came in on extra days, so they could make up the days, and they still didn't fucking show up.
Go teachers, by the way.
Yeah, and then the teachers sent out letters and contacted parents and did cold calls and hey, your kid's not going to graduate. And now the kids and parents are this is a failure of the administration. You should just pass us so we can get out of here. We need to go to work. Parents. We just need the piece of paper to do this.
Oh my God.
And then a teacher's the one stitching this. He's the fuck y'all talking about? One, the other fucked up thing I saw about teachers this week, remember the teacher got shot by the 6-year-old?
No. Right.
There was a teacher that got shot by a 6-year-old, right?
Yep.
So she had a $40 million claim because she got shot. The school board had it thrown out because it is now considered a common workplace injury. She has to file for workman's comp for a bullet wound. How
Jesus
fucked
Christ.
This fucking country.
They should, since they are technically a public employee of the federal government, or Department of Education, whatever. They should get Purple Hearts like the military at this point, dude.
Yeah, seriously. Where's the Wounded in Action
That's
awards
what I mean.
for teachers?
I mean, I know they're not in a theater of war, but at this point, it's similar enough.
Psychotic.
Right? Fucking Christ, man! Don't get us wrong. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and advocate for gun control.
And on top of all of that, it's just do what you're supposed to do, which apparently includes being marksman proficient with a pistol.
I'm not going to advocate for gun control because at this point we need to advocate for parent control because they're fucking idiots.
Yeah, so
a lot of them, not everybody, obviously, but there's a lot to.
First of all, to bring. People say that any kind of gun control is a slippery slope. Can you drive a car?
Gun banning is a slippery slope. Control is different.
Okay, yeah, and I would
because dude, cars are fucking dangerous,
right?
I'm actually surprised there isn't more fucking fatalities. Some people can't even fucking. Okay, let me just explain this real quick, and I'll let you go. But okay. I've said this before, but like I clean banks as a night job because of the gas prices, right? And the fucking thing. Okay, these are people who are intelligent enough to not only have money, but are smart enough to put it in a bank. But they're not smart enough to use a fucking door handle, so they put their sweaty, fat fucking hands on the window.
Fucking fingerprints, bro. I get it.
But how are you stupid enough to do that? But you have money in the bank, and you drive and you vote, and that pisses me off. So, yeah, that's okay. That's all I'm saying.
So, I mean, we recently had the election.
I don't think it's the guns. That's all I'm saying. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not against gun control in the form of like. Regulation. They're very dangerous, just like cars, and just like you need a welding license, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to be licensed and bonded to have any kind of business to do anything in this country because accountability. That's all. It boils down to that.
And the ability to be sued,
right? And and there's like gun banning is a slippery slope,
and I can agree to that.
Yes. So we're not gonna. I don't like ban assault rifles, but like, okay, maybe there should be a better database and some mental health checks and all that. That's not a problem to me.
Yeah, but accountability is
licensing is good. And
I feel
forced practice maybe is not that bad of an idea. For safety.
It's
because they're not safe. It is literally something designed to kill other things.
I remember there being a tweet recently from Biden saying like we got to ban 100-round box magazines, and I'm like. One, if you have a 100-round box magazine, why aren't you just using belt fed?
Yeah, well, yeah.
And because I had that conversation with Jacob, and I'm like, dude, and he's like, are there guns that have 100-round magazines? And so we looked into it.
Yeah, that's a big magazine, dude.
And I'm like, the Thompson is a banned weapon in this country.
No, just a fully automatic one. You can still get semi-automatic.
But the thing is that the Thompson
you can't have the drum
had both a 50 and a 100-round drum.
Yep.
And it wasn't considered like a slippery slope back then because it was being used. It was the AR-15 of its time. It was being used for mass assaults of people. And
but we're talking also like there's a lot of nuance to that. I'm not disagreeing, but we should probably provide some context.
The NRA actually
they were at war with the mafia because they're dumb enough to ban alcohol, so they created this huge organized crime around that. And then those people had machine guns. The Thompson submachine gun specifically was the big one then.
Yeah.
And they could kill a lot of people. But it was mostly just mafia wars. There were some collateral damage and some fatalities from that. But it wasn't like people were shooting other people. It was literally just organized crime groups at war with each other and with the cops. And so there's a lot of context to be had, to go around that too, is all I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with you.
This sounds familiar to something happening today. Maybe something to do with cannabis or something?
Yeah, what? No.
Prohibition. You know what?
Prohibition sucks.
You know what's funny is that it's going to be the same thing with abortions.
Well, yeah, I mean, really. Just prohibiting anything, and I'm talking about just like what I said with the gun bans. It's a slippery slope for anything. And all you do is create a black market because people aren't going to stop getting abortions and people are going to stop drinking alcohol or smoking cannabis.
Right, but you can put regulations on it so it's
safer.
Yeah, it's safer.
That's what regulations are for essentially, right? To make things safer.
Like you need to be a certain age in order to buy a gun. Are people arguing, well, that just people will still find a way around it. So we should just let 10-year-olds be able to buy guns and alcohol because they're going to get them anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, no, you're
that's
sounding fucking stupid.
Yeah. You know, that's why murder is totally legal, as well as like being able to steal somebody's car. There's no consequences for that.
Yeah. Well, regulation is all about accountability at the end of the day, right? What would you rather have? The actual people causing the mass shootings, let's say, being held accountable, or the idiocracy of or the idiocy of suing the gun manufacturer because somebody else used the gun to kill people? I think that's stupid. But somebody, the actual cause of the problem being held accountable, that's actually smart. That's all I'm saying. Regulation is important, is all I'm saying.
There can be some circumstances in which suing the manufacturer is
if
warranted.
If they're negligent and knew that,
For instance, like for advertising, tobacco companies. Yeah, like the tobacco companies, they very heavily tried to subtly, or not so subtly, advertise to children.
Or Pfizer.
And Juul actually just got hit.
Juul, huge.
Because they were, so I actually know a lot about this because I used to vape a lot and the government completely fucking ruined it for me and I can't afford to, so,
So I actually wrote this down as part of my good news thing, which
the way they
I wasn't going to get
advertising.
into the full list, but I
think you're going
bringing it up.
I do have one local bit
wrote
that I wanted to, because I was talking about the election, and while there were some good things that came out of it, there were some horrifically shitty
the library
things.
thing?
Well, no, not just that, because one, I lived in Coeur d'Alene, so I couldn't fucking vote in that apparently. Where I lived, which was fucking bullshit.
So that's the entire,
I live in the county.
It was a district thing.
The entire reason I think that the two that won is because Coeur d'Alene people
they weren't
could
able
not vote
to.
in it.
Yeah. Because they're the offsetters because there's
which
a lot
is weird
more
because I saw their fucking
people.
ads in my neighborhood.
Right?
So why were they advertising to me if
you're on the weird line,
But that's what when I looked it up originally, I could vote for it, and then when I went to the polling place, I couldn't.
By design, I'm sure.
It was fucked. So the only thing I really could vote for was the levy, which was, thank God that passed, because apparently it would have.
I agree.
It would have shut down 2 elementary schools, and it was.
And they're already overpopulated, enough the other ones that would have had.
Which
to
would have
take on
affected,
the,
I think, 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and the others at the other schools that those kids would have had to go to.
Including my son, who starts next year.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So I was very much like, this needs to pass. And they're like, we got to rein in this reckless spending. Fuck you. There's more people here now. You need to pay for the people that are here.
It's rough, dude.
It's not fucking reckless spending when there are more children.
That's true.
That's bullshit.
Well, let's go to Scott.
The fucking old goddamn people and their bullshit. I want my property tax.
It's all boomers. It's all boomers though, because they're at retirement age and they think they can't afford to pay the extra property tax. It's not like millennials own enough property to have this affect them.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing. It's the Californians moving up and buying. I'm going to buy 7 properties so I can live in one and just collect my.
You guys
collect the tithes from the serfs.
They didn't move here for the freedom. They moved here because our taxes were cheaper. Because we're all poor. It wasn't because we were more free. Because we paid less taxes here because we're all fucking poor. Then they all moved in here with their money to pay less taxes. And it made it fucking expensive for everybody. I'm sorry, I had to.
And now us regular folk that lived here
can't afford the
buy
taxes.
a house because 1, all the housing prices have shot up, and 2, most of them have been bought by people that own 7 houses or more.
That's what I mean. It's like God, it's fucking ridiculous. Okay. But anyway, sorry.
Bringing it back to
off
the
to
Juul
local
thing.
stuff. We'll go back to the Juul thing.
So
amazing.
Juul was fined $400 million for teen marketing.
Thank God.
Yeah.
So
it was. Did you see how they did the advertising? By the way, back when this was a problem.
It was
Instagram.
Yeah.
Specifically targeting minors.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like that was
egregious.
That's the thing that the guys listen to. Like he's all in like on the lawyer lawsuit stuff. Because one of the guys he talks to a lot is Mike Papantonio, who's actually a really big
I like
lawyer.
that name, by the way. Papantonio. What a name, dude.
So yeah, like he's on the front line. He's fighting against like the PFAS chemicals. He's fighting against the Juul and the teen marketing stuff.
Yeah.
He's fighting against human trafficking.
Hell yeah.
So like he's like really like into all this, and he was pointing out that like so Juul would like host these school events where it's like, hey, you should not be smoking tobacco. But if you are, we happen to have these things that can get you off of tobacco called Juul. but it's from the same tobacco companies that are selling the cigarette.
Yeah, Marlboro, whoever owns Marlboro, I can't remember. Philip Morris, I think it was. Yeah, they bought Juul.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, like
I think
and they've never targeted to children.
So like Mike Papantonio's thing is just like he hears all the time where it's like, well, I wouldn't have stopped smoking if it wasn't for Juul. It's like, well, you never actually stopped.
Yeah.
You're still getting a ton of fucking nicotine, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Nicotine.
But some of these regulations are forcing people back onto traditional cigarettes, and I think it was by design because of how heavily lobbied the government is by the tobacco companies and always have been for a long time. So it's kind of weird. I think the government just has taken the wrong approach to the regulation of vaping because it is a healthier alternative. Kids shouldn't be doing it. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about minors right now. I'm just talking about us tax-paying adults who can actually take care of themselves now have to pay egregious prices for the vaping, and now it's cheaper to go to traditional cigarettes again.
Well,
when that was a healthy alternative that was saving lives.
Well,
so it pisses me off.
That's
comparatively,
debatable.
Yes.
And this was the FDA has always been bought by the tobacco industry.
Vaping definitely is.
So you might
so you're saying that vaping is healthier, but that's kind of like saying, like alcohol is healthier than arsenic.
So yeah, and the thing is,
both
I'm
are
not
still
even
killing
sure.
you. One's going to kill you just in a different way.
I don't know. There's a lot. That's a very deep argument because there's a lot of science behind nicotine being healthy for you on its own, especially compared to caffeine and sugar.
It's not the nicotine that's killing you, though. Nicotine doesn't cause cancer,
right?
And the heavy metals that come into you from
that's from
vaping,
tobacco.
Well, no. Okay, so tobacco is.
I've made my own vape juice before. It's 3 ingredients. There's propylene glycol, flavoring, and nicotine. Or if you want to use the other solvent, it's what's the other one? Vegetable glycerin.
Yeah,
those are the ingredients of vape juice. If you're buying it from Juul, of course there's other additives.
Yeah,
because it's owned by Big Tobacco.
Yeah, they put additives in it to make it more addictive.
But I've made my own vape juice, and it's supremely healthy. These are food products, all food products.
Yeah, the stuff you make yourself, I would argue, is probably better for you than anything.
And I was okay with the FDA regulating the actual flavor additives to the vape juice because some of them were proven to be unhealthy for you to inhale as a vapor.
Sure.
So it was really good that they put in the work to study those. But
the big thing about like a lot of the vape juices, so like a ton of people started having problems because they were vaping and the vapes had vitamin E in the juices.
That was another one.
Basically, was just turning their lungs to cement.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there was also the controversy of this is what started the entire big tobacco lobby against vaping. So it was the PR. It was the false flag. Essentially, was a lot of these Chinese products that were coming over that were vape products were they had some very dubious chemicals in them. Some of them, it was found to have lead and shit like that.
Right.
Lead,
but these were specifically just the ones coming from China, and I think it was India was the other one. And then you also had most of the problems, the lung problems that caused all this was THC vapes from China and CBD vapes from China. But the media, who I'm sure were a little bit persuaded with money from Big Tobacco, they were conflating, I'm assuming on purpose, that with just your normal vape juice you get at the shop down the road that has 3 food ingredients that are already heavily regulated before they get mixed together in the vape juice.
Okay.
So
that's fair.
Especially nicotine. That's one of the most heavily regulated products in the world. Because 3 drops in someone's coffee will kill you. So they have you have to go in a database to buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's an extreme poison.
That's fair.
It's pretty sketchy. So all of these food products are already heavily regulated before you mix them together in the 3 of them in a juice to vape. It's the shit coming from China and the shit from the guy making it in his bathtub or whatever, selling it without any kind of FDA regulation.
It's the bootlegging.
So I'm not against any regulation for the vape juice. I'm just against the corrupt regulation of the vape juice, specifically with Big Tobacco involved.
Right.
And it caused all of this controversy.
So that's kind of the big thing between smoking cigarettes and using vape. It's smoking cigarettes, obvious that has a ton of other chemicals in it, but smoking the vape, it's it has 10 times the nicotine or something.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I'm for a little bit of regulation on that. Is there needs to be some standardization and control particularly with like nicotine amount. Because it's very poisonous. Which is in larger amounts. You can't. It's not good. But none of this even has none of this is even like. What am I trying to say here? So like that's a completely separate issue than the minors vaping, and that's a big problem and also needs to be discussed.
You're talking about like the idea that there's a responsible way to consume something.
Yes, and I feel like it needs regulation like any industry. Just not what they're doing with it now. I mean,
it's a little overzealous.
It's
but that's
not
because
just overzealous. There is clear corruption.
I think it's because Philip Morris is basically trying to crush it and just to bring back cigarettes.
That's what grinds my gears.
Which is weird.
The corruption aspect.
It's got to be cheaper to manufacture than cigarettes.
It is. Like I said, I've made my own vape juice. It's like significantly.
And that's
cheaper.
probably what it is that you can't grow your own tobacco.
Yeah.
And it's the reason
you
why
can grow your own tobacco. You can't commercialize it.
Well, the thing is, though, no. What I mean by like to make a sufficient quantity of tobacco to get you through a year,
right?
How much do you have to grow?
Yeah, too much,
and
that's land for.
And that's the other reason
at that point,
why.
Then you're under FDA regulation and shit,
again,
or ATF regulation.
And that's the other problem with like cannabis is that you can grow a sufficient amount of cannabis in your closet, to keep you high. And that's why it's lobbied against, is because there's no way for large corporations to market it. Corner a market,
and that's always how it's been, especially with cannabis. Yeah,
which is it's such a weird.
It makes me sad.
It's such a weird thing that like closet hydroponics was something,
but
of a weird industry because they're like you can grow tomatoes in your closet,
bro.
Wink.
There's just as many grow shops in Spokane as there are mattress stores now, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Who's gonna go under quicker?
Okay, so fun. Okay, one fun thing that I saw,
and they're all next to each other. By the way, there's some kind of correlation there. That's all I'm saying.
I
go to any mattress store. Go a block away. There's a fucking grow shop or a pot store.
I want to actually signal boost something that I saw recently that was really hilarious. Mattress Firm is getting a whole bunch of new bases for their beds, right? For their display models. They are all Bluetooth enabled.
Bluetooth bed.
They are Bluetooth enabled, and they're open, and you can't turn the Bluetooth on them off.
That's weird.
The only way to stop it is to unplug the bed. And the range on it is like 65 feet, so you can be standing outside the store, connect to the mattress base, and play whatever you want.
That's weird. Oh, cool.
And they are going to use these. They are going to use these bases for the next 5 to 7 years.
Oh, no.
It's every Mattress Firm. So you can hack them and play whatever you want at full volume.
Oh, I love it.
So I didn't know what was going on there. It's like, why the fuck is Bluetooth enabled on the bed? But if you're just playing like
speakers
background music,
it's this background music for the inside. They're not
for
playing
white
it through
noise.
speakers. They're playing it through the beds.
Yeah.
But anybody can connect to it because it's an open Bluetooth signal that is not password protected.
Yeah, they should have thought of that.
And it is not, and you are not able to turn it off. That's the thing. They can't turn the bases off. They have to stay on because they cheaped out. It's an always on Bluetooth connection. And so a guy got on here and he's like, we need to prank Mattress Firm for the next 5 to 7 years by just playing All Star by Smash Mouth. And I'm like, that's great.
The future's scary, guys.
The future,
that's what this episode's about.
Yeah, the future is scary, but at the same time, we're getting older, and thus the future is scary for us because we worry about the people that we've brought in having to grow up in this society that we are not going to understand.
I want to say, though, I have a lot of faith. Because there's a lot of lessons to be learned from how the boomers ran the world.
We've already been proven to be better stewards
because we've never actually had the power to change it yet.
We're getting there, dude. But again, millennials don't even want power. We just want to be able to afford Netflix and rent.
We want to survive.
That's all we want.
That's the big thing.
We want to be able to pay rent and have Netflix. Not like you need to change your spending habits, motherfucker. I want to afford my spending habits. That's the meme that I was.
The nice thing is that it's probably going to be the Zoomers that if we don't.
I have so much faith in the
millennials don't fuck everything up horribly, then the generation that the Zoomers will have after the alphas are going to be fine because that they will be the first generation on the 80 year. They will be the boomers of their generation.
Hell yeah.
Where they will inherit something that we have had to struggle and suffer through.
Really quick.
Because it's always 80-year cycles.
Really quick. I have to pee more than I've ever had to pee in a long time. Can I let you guys close out the episode? And I gotta go.
Possibly.
This is weird, but I have to go so bad. I usually can make it, but I'll have you guys close out the episode, and I will see you next week, guys.
All right. Well, Brady's gonna go and answer the call. No!
I thought I was the druid.
So I have no idea where we're at for time right now. So
I have no idea how to work
and I
that
can't
damn
even
thing.
I know that there's a big red button on it. Give me just a second. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to get real quiet for a second while I look at something.
You can just switch mics.
I just wanted to see where the recording time was at. We're at 50 minutes. Brady can come back and he can actually shut this out.
That's the safer option.
We can wait for Brady. It is fine. Because we got like 10 minutes for some positive news, I guess. Because I know what else you got in the binder, Scott?
So let's see here. I'll go to the first page.
This is also a preview of what you would have got last week. It would have just been me and Scott and us not knowing how to use the board.
So the number one thing that I wrote down, Ocasio-Cortez and Matt Gaetz proposed a bill to ban stock trading for Congress. So,
that's pretty old. Isn't that like 6 weeks old?
I don't know if it's 6 weeks. It's old, but we also...
Yeah, I remember when they announced that, and I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Right. So
because it wasn't just congressmen, it was their spouses.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the big part of it.
So that was a big thing. And yeah, it's been a while since I've been able to, go through this list. So there was that, but then like Fox News got really weird over it because there was like one guy that was responding to them. It's like, I'm seeing this, this whole romance thing going on between Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz will like leave his wife to be with, AOC. And like, so it was just this really weird, just like fan fiction this guy was creating like on air on Fox News. And eventually like one of the co-hosts was like, dude, stop. You're making all of us uncomfortable.
Matt Gaetz / fiction.
Yeah. And then, so it was after that, Matt Gaetz went onto the news and he's like, yeah, Fox News was really messed up there. That was messed up.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Excellent. No,
I thought it was going to take me longer.
No, that's why I looked at the time and I'm like, oh, we got plenty of time before the end of the episode.
So yeah, Matt Gaetz was like, that's really messed up. And he actually continued. It's like, and the really weird thing about Fox News, or maybe like others as well, is they constantly sexualize her.
Yeah.
So
what did I walk into?
So we were talking about the bill Matt Gaetz and AOC introduced to ban stock trading for members of Congress and their family members.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
So yeah, it was after that, like people on Fox News got really weird and created a fan fiction where Matt Gaetz and AOC get
How is Fox News still alive? I thought they'd die immediately after banning Tucker Carlson.
No, because they didn't die when they got rid of Bill O'Reilly.
Fucking idiots.
They're trying to find a replacement.
They're going to be...
It'll be weird because it'll be like Alex Jones or something.
You guys
it's always
remember
one
Idiocracy?
step worse than the last one.
You guys remember how Idiocracy depicted Fox News? It's literally getting there.
Yeah, just start getting like, it's like he finds himself in the toilet.
Yeah. With like the shirtless fucking Baywatch looking guy.
Yeah.
It's
the
getting
Fox
there,
News and Porn Network. Yeah.
And we're honestly getting, like, I hate saying like that was a prophetic movie, even if it was an accident, but like we're getting there, like how during the presidential speech there was just like 300 people with fucking guitars playing just one note. Dun, 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 dun. It's getting there, guys. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, the Matt Gaetz thing. Go on.
We're kind of done with that one, but
maybe they should though.
I don't know why I wrote this down again. I'm fairly certain I shared this on a previous episode. The South Korean, they ate $125,000 worth of art because someone was just
the banana.
Someone was taping a banana to the wall, calling it art, and the guy just went up, ate it, and taped it back. The peel back.
That was one of my favorite news stories I've heard in a long time.
I hadn't heard that. It must have been the week I was gone.
Yeah,
probably.
But that's amazing.
Like, at the very least, I feel like I had covered that before, and I don't know why I had it on here again. But
by the time this episode comes out, actually, is that going to be posted today? Tomorrow, Monday.
It'll be posted.
We're recording Sunday, so Monday.
Yeah, it'll be posted later. It'll be posted at Dark 30.
I wonder how Little Mermaid is doing.
Well, I went to the movies, but I want to ask you guys a question. How caught up on all the Marvel movies are you?
Fucking, I stopped after Loki, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Well,
Okay.
you stopped after I did. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, She-Hulk ended it for me because that wasn't for me.
I'm
I
specific.
didn't watch that.
Actually, it
and
was.
then I ran out of time.
Oddly enough, that one was really good.
Yeah. It just wasn't
I enjoyed.
for me.
The
not gonna
meta
comment on the other
commentary
shit.
by the end of it is really good.
I heard it was. They're very good at that kind of stuff. So shout out to Marvel.
No, it was specifically meta.
That's what I mean. They love doing that shit now. So,
but
yeah, I stopped after that.
I could not recall a time in a Marvel movie where they dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah, Disney does not like that.
Did they?
In the Guardians movie, they did.
Hell yeah.
And it was the most mundane
It only makes sense.
scene that they dropped it in.
Was it rated R or was that their
No,
one?
it was their
PG-13?
one F-bomb for their PG-13.
Nice.
And I'm sitting there in the movie, and he said it, and I'm like, oh, yes! And I'm like, and in the scene, it was perfect.
You know what that means? That means the next Deadpool isn't going to be afraid to at least do the one. Deadpool's going to
The
make
next
it count.
Deadpool is an R-rated movie.
They decided to do R because they were arguing amongst
they're
the
going
studio
to do
execs
it
to do PG-13.
But the thing is that I am 90% sure that this is the last Guardians movie. They are done.
I
with
feel
it.
like they are, yeah.
Because James has moved on to DC.
Yeah. And how do you have another you can't do it without James. Let's be real here. Just like you can't make
which means
Terminator
that they
without
got
James.
They got the
James.
first F-bomb that they dropped, if it's true. And it is a scene that is so I think it might actually have been in one of the preview trailers, and it's Quill is sitting in a car and Nebula is trying to open the door. And it's one of those old fucking car doors where you have to push the button in and then turn the handle down.
Oh God.
And
old cars.
And so yeah, it was
Old
like this
Buick.
80s. It was like this 80s Buick.
Yeah.
And like Groot's already sitting in the back seat, and Peter is like trying to explain to her. It's like, push down. I am pushing down. Well, pushing the button. It's like I am pushing the button. It looks like you're pushing the keyhole.
And that's a meme of its time for sure.
And then
dude.
he says to her, "Get in the fucking car." And I'm like, and it's such it's such a drive-by moment in the movie
Yeah, they made
that
it count.
nobody, like everybody missed it except me and the audience, because I'm like, that right there, that right there was huge.
The Leo meme.
It was that. I'm like, when they dropped the F-bomb, and you're like, yes,
For the record.
finally, because
record.
Quill would be the one to do it, because he's from Missouri.
For the record, I eventually plan on catching up on Marvel in my retirement age.
No,
the time I have time.
The problem is that you are never going to be caught up. It's fucking One Piece at this point. If you're not watching it now, you will never be caught up.
So let's not go too deep into movies because I was planning on a next episode being lighter, a boobly cooler episode because I've been watching a lot of other shit and I want to talk about it. So
excellent.
But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed our completely non sequitur
happy
rant.
Memorial Day, everybody.
Happy Memorial Day.
For those of us in the
3-day
States.
weekend. Can we say thank you to the veterans who have done unbelievable sacrifices for our whatever freedoms we have left?
Yeah, Memorial
Thank
Day is
you.
for those that have passed.
Thank you.
Don't take the coins off the graves, by the way.
Yeah.
That is super disrespectful. Do not do that.
Yeah.
I was not aware of whatever else was going on, but
What? Oh yeah, people do that.
I was just gonna say, yeah, thank you to the veterans. You should really get like all the health care you need and more for.
That too.
Fighting in the wars
We're on your
that
side
you
here,
lied
Vet.
into.
Yeah.
It's a fucking egregious how you guys are treated, but that's
remember though
another episode.
this is specifically for those that have died.
Well, yeah.
Because
Still,
it's like this is for those that have given all.
Man, the ultimate sacrifice.
Because
you actually gave your
in
life.
November we'll do the Veterans Day episode.
Is there any actual veterans? Never mind. We won't go down this road.
Is there any actual what now?
I was gonna say, is there any left that have actually defended the country other than like? And I'm not commenting on soldiers. I'm commenting on the stupid wars we're in. But anyway, that's a different episode.
Oh,
We'll do that at a different time.
modern Afghanistan.
Because like the
Vietnam.
last few wars haven't really been about defending freedom, have they?
No.
But that's a different
The
episode.
Mexican-American
We'll
Redux
go
War
down
is
that
coming,
road.
so we'll see
Yeah.
how that goes.
That's a different one. We might actually have to be defending ourselves there.
America doesn't
Wow,
invade.
Texans might actually have a reason to remember the Alamo.
Oh shit, they remembered that.
That's a good way to end. Do you have any good news stories?
Dude,
written
bro,
down,
that
buddy?
was like
'Cause
100
you're
years
pretty good
ago.
at
Let
that.
it go.
Yeah, let it go. you have any positive news stories to end us with, Spot? You're really good at that.
Well,
you're a
I
guy.
had another
we had
one
that.
I would end with, but that would cause more of a debate than anything. But I'd say the number one thing, and this was the most recent one I found, 160 people in Florida arrested for like it being in a human trafficking ring.
Oh, good.
Thank God.
Oh, Florida.
The more they get off of the streets of that shit,
America's
the better,
ghetto.
dude. Fuck human trafficking. That's the greatest way to end an episode.
Yeah. So I figured that's a good one to end on, and I'd be extremely surprised if that really caused a debate.
Yeah, for real though. Who could debate that? So guys, get on the Discord. Tell us how much you hated what we had to say today, or if you loved it, I don't care. Or just come share some memes, guys.
I do my best to keep it active.
Or drop some fucked up shit in our weird fucking trash.
Stop doing that.
I love doing that.
Stop doing that.
No, don't stop, please. It only gets
don't.
better.
Randy has to curate.
Oh yeah, sorry to our moderator.
I am in charge of all of the darkness, and I just can't handle it right now.
You can only take so much.
That's true. I need to recharge. I need a shower.
Shower.
But yeah, y'all
Luckily,
know how
that's
the
our
internet
rarest
works.
used one. But you know how the internet works. Get on the Discord, get on the Twitter, whatever the fuck. Who uses Twitter? In that note,
bye.
Bye.
This was I, the Show. Thanks for listening. You know how the internet works, but if you don't, check out our link tree in the description. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Insta,
China. See, Katie was in the episode.